Hello, my name is Linda Pursoon. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Today I'm going to share with you a card that we were going to make in my March class, and due to the coronavirus we weren't able to have class. The stamp set that I'm using is called Positive Thoughts. It's got 8 pieces in it, and it's found in the January to June 2020 mini catalog on page 23. You can use lots of different stamp sets for this particular technique that I'm going to show you. I call it Stamp and Ink Collage. I'm not sure what the official title is. The colors that we're using are Blushing Bride, Whisper White cardstock base, and Pear Pizzazz. And this is also a Blushing Bride ink and Highland Heather ink. And the words in the background are stamped with Sahara sand. So if you are following along and would like to make a similar color card, those are the colors that you're going to need. First, you're going to cut a piece of cardstock 8.5 by 11, scored at 4 1/4 to fold at the left side. The Blushing Bride piece that's here, that'll be torn, is 5.5 by 1 3/4, and this piece is used to make this greeting. You can use any size that's appropriate, but this one I cut 2 inches by 3 5/8. So let's get started with the technique. And we're going to start with Sahara sand. And I've mounted this stamp that says sending positive thoughts and feel good wishes. So this card can be used for a lot of different occasions. This one that I made is basically a friend card to show a friend that how much you appreciate them and that you're thinking about them. But anyway, I'm taking this stamp. Don't worry about if it comes out imperfect, because that's what collage is all about anyway. And then you're going to take a stamping sponge. I usually take the full sponge and cut it into 6 to 8 pieces. And then you're just going to lightly tap on there, just to put a little bit more texture on the background. So we're done with the Sahara sand piece. We're going to put that away. The next stamp that I'm using is the Fern stamp from the stamp set. We're using Pear Pizzazz ink. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to stamp it once in one corner and stamp it off. Do the same in the next corner. So as you can tell, I'm doing corners. Now this side will be covered up with the torn cardstock and ribbon, but it's also this whole background can be used for any kind of card design that you want. The Blushing Bride is the next color, and I'm just stamping the flower that's in the stamp set in between the green pieces. And then I'm going to take another stamping sponge and just ink and brush the edges of the card front. So I think this card could be used for a sympathy card or a get well. I just like the sentiment on the front. And the last stamp that I'm using from this stamp set, other than the greeting, is the butterfly. And I'm stamping that in Highland Heather and various spots around the card. Again, it's a collage, so there's really no right or wrong, just wherever the creative moment takes you. So there's the front of the card. That was pretty quick and easy, and like I said, you can stamp other cards, stamp sets called Very Versailles. Even the Daisy Lane would be pretty. So now we're going to stamp the greeting using basic gray and stamping it toward the center of that card. And then for the rest of this piece, I used the everyday label punch. That's what. And I'm going to stamp that, punch that so that the greeting part is down toward the bottom. Now, in order to get the flourish in the right place, I did a template with on my Stamparatus. I punched out the label punch, and then I put this inside like that, and then used the Blushing Bride. I just got an ink spot here that I inked with the Blushing Bride ink, and like that. Now, as you can see from this sample, I cut that bottom part off, and then I sponged around the edges. Another greeting you could do is you could do the happy birthday in the middle from another stamp set, and then do the flourish on the top, and then turn it over and put the flourish again on the bottom. And then I took the stamping sponge and I sponged all the edges of that. So that's what I did with that one. And then this piece, the Blushing Bride piece, you just tear it. And what I do is I put my thumb where I don't want it to tear away, and then I take my other hand and tear down. And that's how I do tearing. Then I took this piece of, and then I taped it on the back with the tear and tape, and then mounted on the front of the card. Then I took this piece here, second piece, and tied it around, and just a soft half knot. And then you can take your scissors and trim the ends. And then this piece I mounted with the dimensionals, as you can see. On the inside I did something fun too. I stamped the fern like we did on the front, and the butterfly, and then I did this in basic gray, the greeting here, and again sponged the edges. So that card didn't take very long, and it was a lot of fun, and don't have to worry about anything being really perfect. So thank you for stopping by, and we'll talk to you soon.